Hey guys, Timothy here, aka FCFan21, with some fantastic news. Because I've been in the Burn Tower Draft League for the Little Cup season, and this next season, Season 3, I've been promoted to the regular Burn Tower Draft League division. For anyone not aware of how the BTDL works, there are 3 divisions: Raikou, Entei and Suicune, with Raikou being the lowest division for starter trainers like me, or the unproven, or the just bad ones, I guess, but it's the lowest tier, basically. Next up is the Entei League, and the Suicune League is the highest tier in the BTDL. At the end of regular season, the best 2 players from each division, except Suicune, will be promoted to a higher division. And same goes for the winner of the season overall. So you can finish like 6th and still with it and be promoted to a higher league. Same goes for the 3 lowest seeds in the league, but they will be relegated to a lower league. So yeah, let's just talk about what I drafted. From the 16 coaches, I was number 15 to draft. So a lot of good and well, not just good, but great things I was hoping to try out were taken from me. Iron Valiant went round 2, Champa round 3, Bundle in 5, Ursulina Blood Moon pick 8, Palafin pick 9, and the one I was really hoping for, Annihilate, was taken 2 picks before me, pick 13. And after a heat run, I was finally up for my first pick, and I wanted to start off strong, and I chose for Tornadus Therian form. For anyone unaware about Tornadus, this thing can be a nuisance and a half to get rid of. It has a high base 121 speed stat, a very decent 110 special attack stat, and a very decent 100 physical attack stat with the ability Regenerator. So basically what Tornadus can do is U-turn and regenerate a third of its lost HP. Only 3 weaknesses: Electric, Ice and Rock, with a Grass Fighting and Bug Resistance, and a Ground Immunity. Again, pretty strong special attacker. Beakwood Storm can lower speed of my opponent's Pokemon when hit. 80% base accuracy and 100 base power, but that 80 base accuracy is neglected as soon as rain's up. If I'm correct, it gets Defog, it gets Taunt, fast Taunter is always nice. So yeah, and after waiting just a little bit, because Arminius, the one who got the wheel pick after me, was always quite fast. He took Glasgow and Infernape, and I thought, well, let's take something that's also very annoying to take out, and that would have been Galarian Slowking, aka Glowking, aka another big nuisance. With his Poison and Psychic type, he only has 3 weaknesses: Ground, Dark and Ghost, with a Big Fighting, Poison, Fairy and Grass Resist. 3 abilities. Curious Medicine is not something very usable in singles because it gets rid of any negative stat changes when he switches in, but when he switches in singles he's the only mon on the field, so yeah, it's not removing anything really. On tempo makes it so it can get confused. And again, Regenerator. This time on a more defensive mon. 80 base defense, 110 base special defense, 95 HP. Very nice with a 110 special attack stat. Is able to toxic anything because he's a poison type. Toxic can't miss. He has Chilly Reception to get out of a matchup and set up Snow, something I'm not really gonna make use of, but it's still a nice option. And again, nice phasing, good defensive mon. And yeah, I wanted more offense, and after waiting a long time, a plan was starting to form in my head. And first I wanted to take this next mon because I knew my 4th mon was probably not gonna get sniped by Arminius, so I first went for Overquill. The pin cluster Pokemon is Dark and Poison, which means only a ground weakness. Grass, Ghost and Dark Resist, and a Psychic Immunity. Decent stats all around. 85 base speed and HP. 65 base special attack and special defense. 115 in attack and 95 in his physical defense. Some nice abilities. Poison Point has, I thought, 30% chance to poison an opponent when it makes contact with Overquill. Swift Swim doubles its speed stat in rain, and Intimidate is also always a nice ability because it lowers the attack stat of the Pokemon that's in when Overquill switches in. So yeah. With Barbarage it also has a 30% chance, I thought, to poison, and that does double damage when my opponent has a status. Besides that, he has some he can set up toxic spikes and absorb them when they're on my side of the field. Yeah, and maybe you're not really getting where I'm going with but yeah, my 4th mon was a really proud moment of me because my from the Little Cup days I went on a big and hard training session, and my little Poliwag, that was one of the MVPs of my Little Cup season, evolved into a Politoed. And in case you don't know what Politoed does, in my opinion it's one of the best range setters in the format, with a 90 HP and 100 base special defense. It's not that easy to get rid of. I've got my bulky water type with this, just 2 weaknesses in electric and grass type, but Drizzle is the main ability because rain. And that's the theme I went on forward with my draft. I wanted not so much a rain team, but I wanted Pokemon that can be a rain team, but can act outside of rain as well. So like I said, Tornadus Therian is a very good phaser with his Regenerator ability, but in rain he has 100% Step, Hurricanes and Bleakwind Storms. Overquill with Swift Swim is able to outspeed a lot of mons, but is still a good intimidate user, toxic spike setter, and yeah, like I said, that's going to be the bigger theme in my team this season. Mons that can do good in rain, but it's not a rain team per se. So yeah, after Politoed I had to wait a big time, and then came the opportunity to get another, well, I'm not going to say legend, but let's say a big member for my Little Cup team. And if you've seen those matches, you know I was very fond of him. And now when I'm even in Ryko League, I will still be bringing the store. Oh, Fortress first. My bad. Fortress, sturdy, very physical defensive, only one weakness in fire, and look at all those resistances. A normal, ice, psychic, bug, dragon, steel and fairy resistance, with a double resistance to grass and an immunity to poison. Why is this mon good in rain? Because his 4 times weakness of fire. When in rain, fire types moves are halved in damage, so his 4 times weakness is down to just a 2 times weakness in rain. And Fortress is a great hazard setter and still has his sturdy ability. But if I play against something like a Toad Scroll with powder moves, or if I play against a what's not very beneficial, I get at least something with bad weather, I can use Overcoat. So Overcoat is not a complete useless ability, and with base 90 attack and just 40 speed, Gyro Balls can hit very hard. So it has also rapid spin, so it's not just a hazard setter but also a way of hazard removal. And again, something that can operate both inside and outside of rain. And now we go to the one I was talking about earlier. Sorry Fortress if I rushed you, it's not what I intended to do, but I'm really excited to announce my little Storm has finally evolved, and look at it, such a beauty of a mon. Another mon that can operate well in rain, as I've shown in Little Cup with Watt-Roll, and Kilo Watt-Roll will be no exception to the case. With a grass, fighting, steel, bug and flying resistance, it only has 2 weaknesses, ice and rock, and a ground type immunity. And if I choose to do so, a Volt Absorb ability makes my Kilowatt Roll immune to electric types as well. Mostly mediocre stats. HP and attack are 70 and his defenses are 60, but 125 speed is very hard to outspeed for any non-scarfed Pokemon, and a 105 special attack is not something to laugh about. But again, if you've watched my Little Cups, you know how I like to run a 100% accurate Hurricane stab, 100% accurate Thunder stab, and with Kilowatt Roll being my Terra Captain, whatever I need, I can in a week I can make it Terra Electric, I can make it Terra Flying, or with my Wildcard Terra I can also make it Terra Steel. So yeah, a great mon to have on the team, and I'm very happy I could finally get it evolved. So next up was a mon that's been very good to me in another league. and I am happy to announce that I've got it again, and I hope it can be just as effective in this team as it is in my UPL League team. And I'm talking, of course, about Hellboy, the Hisuian Typhlosion. And you might be thinking, well, yay, Hisuian Typhlosion. Regular Typhlosion is better. I like to disagree. Where the regular Typhlosion is a bit faster than Hisuian Typhlosion. Hisuian Typhlosion hits a bit harder, and with the ghost typing it has, yes, it got more weaknesses, but it also can hit with another stab, and ghost is a very strong type to have, because only dark type is resistant to it, I thought. Yes, and only normal is completely immune to it. So a good typing to add, and those choice packs or choice scarfed Terrafire eruptions are coming to the BTDL. If I want, I can run Terra Ghost with Shadow Ball, and even Terrafire with which will negate the effectiveness of water, ghost, dark and rock types. So a lot of ways I can go with Hisuian Typhlosion. Does not do well in rain, so maybe I'm not bringing it every week, but if it's as effective as it is in the UPL, it will have a good time in this league as well. Hisuian Typhlosion was my 7th pick, and at this point in the draft I had by far the most points left, but I did not have a fairy type for my Dragon Fairy Steel type core. I had, of course, my Fortress as a Steel type, but I wanted a fairy as well, and I went with Dashbun. This good boy has a very high defense stat and a decent speed stat. His HP stat leaves something to be desired, but with a well-baked body as his ability, he is immune to fire types. With his fairy type, he's only weak to poison and steel types, and has a dark, bug and fighting resistance. This well-baked boy is quite a bit one-dimensional, because it is there to take on physical fire types and dragon types, or dark types, but it does it very well. With wish support, it can heal up other mons, and it has the ability to charm his opponent to lower attack harshly and use the time to heal up again. So a good fairy type in my opinion. And this was pick number 8, and I had after that 34 points left, with everyone else with max half my points. So it was time to go for some big spending Pokemon, and firstly I went with something again very defensive, and I went for Tinglu, a what should I call this? Yeah, it's a ruinous Pokemon, but let's call him Angry Bambi. Angry Bambi here has the Vessel of Ruin ability to lower everyone's special attack stat except his own. Well, could have as well lower his special attack, because it's already garbage. But you're not gonna use Tinglu as a special attacker. With 155 HP and 125 base defense, it's a very good physical roll. With 80 base special defense, it does not look all that great, but if you consider that the opponent's Pokemon have just 3/4 of their normal special attack stat, it's looking quite decent. Because of the ground and dark typing, he has 2 immunities to electric and psychic type moves. Poison type, dark type, ghost and rock types are resisted, but he does have quite some weaknesses, but no 4 times weakness, so water, bug, grass, ice, fighting and fairy typing do super effective damage against it. This Pokemon can set up hazards, it can roar or whirlwind something out, it can status something with toxic, hit very hard with stat ground type moves like earthquake. With ruination it can half some Pokemon's current HP. So yeah, quite a nice pickup, but at this point I found my team a little bit slow, so I wanted something fast, so I drafted Hisuian Electrode. Yeah, again, if you want something for its speed stat, Hisuian Electrode is maybe one, if not the best Pokemon to go for, besides Regieleki of course with 200, but again not much in the current meta that is faster than Hisuian Electrode. With both static and aftermath, it can be very annoying for opposing Pokemon that make contact to it. If you kill it with, and you make contact with it, aftermath will take 1/4 of your HP, and static has a 25% I thought chance to paralyze the opponent when making contact. With 150 base speed I have basically 3 Volt Switches, and coming from a base special attack, which I can normally use a choice specs on, it already goes up to 120. Not really nice to take. And in rain of course, thunders are 100% accurate. Coming from an Electrode, there's not much chance you outspeed and maybe not even live. So bringing me to my last mon, I still had 13 points left, if I'm correct. Yes I am. And the draft was really slow, so I waited for Armenia. Sorry, did I say that correctly? Just checking. Armenia's, yes, to make her. Again, have to check if it was her last or second to last. Yes, for her to make her last pick, it's a Titan, and then I could announce my final pick because no one had the points to snipe me, and I'm glad to say I had my Dragon type waiting till the final moments in the draft, and that is Kommo-o, and I needed a hard-hitting mon, and I got that hard-hitting mon. With 125 defense and 105 special defense, it can really take a hit. It has the basic dragon resistances for fire, water, grass and electric. Because of the fighting typing, it gains a bug, rock and dark weakness resistance, but yeah, ice, dragon, psychic, flying, normal weaknesses, and a 4 times weakness to fairy, of course. both bullet or soundproof accessibility. So things like bullet seed or focus blast are just not going to do anything to it. And I've checked it, and there are some great possibilities with Komaro to set up. Dragonlance is the main focus, but I have to check, but I think Glanger's skills are not banned. So that means for a third of his total HP I can get a Omni boost, which means a boost in the attack, defense, special attack, special defense and speed stat. With just one boost I can outspeed most things, and with a base 110 physical attack or 100 special attack I can hit already very hard. So this is the breaker mon that I was waiting to draft, and I'm glad my patience was rewarded with Komaro. So that's the team. Let me know what you think of it. What can I say? What's the right way of putting it? I'm very excited that of course to try using this team. Like I said, a sort of semi-rain team with a lot of things benefiting from rain, like Kilowatt Roll, Tornadoes, Fortress, Overquill, all. Oh yeah, and of course the Hisuian Electrode, all benefiting from rain, but all of those can do a lot of damage without rain. So again, curious what I can do with this. Season starts after this weekend, so from Monday on you can start expecting me to put out Burnt Out Draft League content again. So again, let me know what you think of this team. Maybe I do something with the power rankings coming out from the BTDL. Just let me know if you want me to make a video about it. Not just my team, but see, just a reaction video basically. Let me know if you like that down in the comments. I love to have some interaction with all of you guys, and yeah, just hearing what you think about my team, how I'm doing so far, or even if you just like the content, just let me know. Yeah, just because I like the feedback. If you don't do it, it's not a big deal, but again, would like to hear from you guys. So I've been Timothy, coach of your Vinkeveen Vivillons, and I'm really looking forward to the BTDL Season 3. And for now, all I can say is up the Vivillons.